If you've been scrolling through endless options for a wine fridge, comparing dimensions, bottle counts, and price tags, and you still feel like you're just guessing which unit will actually work in your kitchen, you're not alone. That uncertainty is why I'm breaking down the Summit 30-inch wine cellar/beverage center combo the way a real buyer would, looking at daily life, hidden trade-offs, and whether the price really matches the promise. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the biggest question most people have is, will this unit actually fit into the space you've set aside without turning your pantry into a cramped freezer? The Summit model measures 30 inches wide, 70 inches tall, and about 20 inches deep, giving you roughly 5.8 cubic feet of interior volume. In practice, that translates to room for about 33 standard bottles when you stack them in the double shelf configuration. If you're a casual collector with a dozen bottles, the extra space will feel generous. If you're a serious sommelier looking to store 200 bottles, you'll quickly outgrow it. What sets this unit apart from a plain wine cooler is the built-in commercial beverage center on the lower shelf. It's essentially a small fridge that can hold canned sodas, craft beers, or even a few bottles of white wine that you prefer at a cooler temperature. For a family that enjoys a glass of chilled roast while the dinner cooks, this dual-zone design means you don't have to run two separate appliances. The French door style also gives a touch of elegance. Opening both doors lets you see the full interior at once, which is handy when you're trying to locate a specific bottle without hunting around. Now, let's talk about the actual temperature control. Summit equips this model with a digital thermostat that lets you set the temperature anywhere between 41°F and 64°F. In the real world, users have found that the unit stabilizes within a couple of degrees of the set point after the first few hours, which is acceptable for most home collections. The key is to place the unit away from direct sunlight or a heat-producing oven, otherwise the compressor will work harder, and you'll notice a faint hum. Nothing alarming, but something to consider if you're sensitive to kitchen noise. Who should buy this? If you're a homeowner with a modest but growing wine collection, want a sleek appliance that can double as a mini beverage fridge, and have a dedicated spot in a kitchen, dining room, or even a home bar, the Summit 30-inch unit hits the sweet spot. It's also a practical choice for small restaurants or wine-focused cafes that need a single piece of equipment to keep both wine and chilled drinks on hand without cluttering the back of house. The stainless steel finish blends well with most commercial interiors, and the French doors add a bit of class that can impress patrons. Who should skip it? If you live in a very small apartment where every inch counts, the 20-inch depth plus the door swing might be too demanding. Likewise, if you already own a high-end dual-zone wine cellar or you need to store more than 50 bottles, you'll find the capacity limiting. And if you're after a silent operation, say, a bedroom wine cabinet for late night sipping, the audible compressor cycle could be a deal-breaker. A practical strength that often gets overlooked is the built-in spill tray beneath the beverage center. When you're pulling out a can of soda or a bottle of chilled white, any condensation or drips land in the tray and are easy to wipe clean. In a busy family kitchen, that little feature prevents water from pooling on the floor and saves you from a mini cleanup each time you restock. Another benefit is the adjustable shelf system. You can lower the upper shelf to accommodate taller bottles like a magnum of champagne without having to remove other bottles. This flexibility means you can mix wine styles without compromising storage. On the flip side, the unit's cooling capacity is sized for its internal volume, which means that if you load all 33 slots at once, the compressor will run longer to bring the temperature down after the door is opened. In practice, that translates to a slightly higher energy draw during peak usage periods. If you're environmentally conscious or trying to keep electricity bills low, you might want to avoid constantly loading and unloading large batches. Also, the French doors, while stylish, require enough clearance on either side to swing open fully. In tight kitchen layouts, you may need to keep the surrounding cabinets open wider than usual, which could affect the overall flow of the space. Another real-world consideration is the placement of the power cord. It's a standard 3-prong plug that comes out from the back, near the bottom of the unit. If you're installing the fridge against a wall with no nearby outlet, you'll need an extension cord or a professional electrician to add a receptacle, an extra step that some buyers forget until the unit arrives. It's not a deal breaker, but it's worth planning for during the setup phase. From a value